Give me a minute and we'll talk about this story coming out of Yerevan, Armenia today. The Armenian Defense Ministry is denying reports that it has supplied Tochka missiles to Ukraine. Now, all of the former Soviet republics had Tochkas, and they have recently reappeared on the battlefield. It was estimated that Ukraine had about 100 in the inventory when the war began. They used them up, and we believe, and we stopped seeing them on the battlefield, but they have now reappeared, and they've been re-engineered. The guidance systems have been improved. They've been re-engineered for greater distance. And they've been reworked, right? Now, is it possible that this was a supply of Tochkas that the Ukrainians had that they separated from the original allocation, and they tried to engineer, and that took some time, and now they're appearing on the battlefield again? That's entirely possible. Is it possible that Armenia gave Ukraine those missiles? It's not impossible, although it would be a provocative step for Armenia. And we'll talk more about that in just 1 second. Is it possible that they came from somewhere else entirely? Every former Soviet bloc nation had Tochkas, including close allies of Ukraine, like Poland. Now, why would the Russians want to pin this on the Armenians? Because yesterday was the CSTO meeting in Belarus. And you know who blew it off? Armenia. You know who just joined the ICC so that Vladimir Putin, who's got an arrest warrant out for him, can't ever set foot in the country again? Armenia. Who's recently engaged in military exercises with the United States? Armenia. Who is constantly moving away from Moscow to the west? Armenia. And why wouldn't they? There is the endemic corruption of having to be in bed with Moscow. And then, of course, there's the reality that the CSTO completely failed to defend the Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. They couldn't even keep the road open for humanitarian aid the way that they were supposed to do for a year before the Azerbaijanis went in. So if you see this story, the story is not that Armenia gave missiles to Ukraine. We don't know that to be true. The story is that the Russians are saying this. Why? Likely to saber rattle at Armenia to try to intimidate them back, right? Like, we're your good friends, right? And if we're not, we'll beat the shit out of you. This is what it is to be in bed with Moscow, to be in bed with a bully who lies about you to your friends and who threatens you with violence every time you do something he doesn't like.